you see the mountain, and we're just going to summarize it. I think the words are pretty much self-explanatory. So there's all these different stages starting from the bottom of the mountain, which is leading yourself. And I love this, and what I love about this picture and this icon, I remember a very good dear friend of mine and my mentor many years ago, who unfortunately passed away last year. But one of the things he said to me, and I was a young manager at the time, and he said to me, you know what, Tony, says, if you cannot lead yourself because you don't believe in yourself, then how in the heck can you lead a team and have them believe in you? Mm. And those words have stuck with me and continue to resonate with me every day, absolutely every day. Mm-hmm. So that's where it starts. So if you can take care of yourself, you believe in yourself, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. Just like the reverse is totally true as well, right? And so in believing yourself, and so some of the things you need to do, and we're going to touch on this, and Ron touched on a moment ago, is all those positive habits you need to install or instill in yourself. The being mindful, meditating, sleeping, and on and on and on and on, right? Anyways, as you progress through the mountain, now you've taken care of yourself. You can now start to lead your life, and as you lead your life, in a positive way, where you're exuding that calm confidence, you're exuding energy, you're exuding value, you can start getting into, now your work has purpose, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at my personal career as a project manager, and I remember how I did it when I first started. It was all about, and I'm sure we can all relate, it was all check boxes and check, 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 check. But there was no humanity in that checklist.
No, not at all.
Right. And whereas what I see, I do the same job today, but today my job is slightly different. I still do the checks because that's what we're asked to do, but I do it from a human connection. So I connect with people. So this is where leading your work comes into play. And then we touched on a moment ago, it becomes infectious because now people see it. I actually got asked the question today, how do we replicate what you do so that my other PMs can do the same thing? It's a compliment. I love it, but I'm not doing it for the compliment. I do it because I just love doing it. Yeah. Right? So as you get there, leading your tribe, it's funny because people will see the words and they'll think, well, what the hell does that mean? I'm not, whatever. But to me, a tribe can be as simple as your family, your network of people, that your friends, that you through your actions, through your being, you're actually influencing other people.
Yeah, well, it's really it's good. We talked earlier about we're very social creatures, right? And each one of those social groups is a community, right? That's what we mean by tribe, right? So there's your work tribe, there's your family tribe, there's this is a tribe, right? It's a group because we're a common piece. The people that you go and your workout with, that you guys talked about, that's a tribe. Each part has their each group, and it's how you bringing the best out of everybody in those situations, right? I'm sure we've all been in those meetings where the so-called leader in the room, you bring something up and then you get shot down, and it just sucks the energy out of the room, and everyone says, I'm not going to stick my neck out anymore.
I'm done with this meeting.
Yeah. It's right. We've all been there, right? Yeah. And it's and we all have these horror stories, and we don't want to be that leader, right? We don't want to be that leader.
No.
Anyway.
No.
And that's interesting, Ron, right? Because so the other conversation I know you and I have had, and I had this conversation actually just a couple of days ago with someone, near and dear to me, when I said, so to your point in that setting, and, the person says to me, but I'm not a leader. I said, why are you not a leader? Well, because I'm not a manager. Well, manager and leader are not the same thing.
No.
Leadership is real. It's that self-confidence to raise your hand, and to lead. And it starts with leading yourself. So I could go on for hours, so I won't. I'm just going to calm back down. Tony, refocus us.
Okay, so we're gonna refocus. So the last stage here is, the legacy. So which is what we're talking about, right? So what is the legacy we leave behind? And again, we don't do this because of ego. We do this, it's just exuding from us, right? And so it's about, the way I look at it, and believe it or not, I do look at it this way, and it's not to be morbid, but it's about, when my last day comes, what would I want people to say? Hey, Tony had this kind of impact on my life. And it's funny, when I started thinking that way, it's been now maybe 5-7 years that I've been starting to think that, the way I approach every day is different.
Yeah, I'm getting at the age now where my uncles and aunts and extended family, people are starting to pass, right? And I go to some of these funerals, and you can really kind of measure the legacy by the side, like what's the state of the funeral? Some are just like, they're like celebrations.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, well, so, but that, you don't, to get that, it's the behaviors that we do every day. Right. Yeah, and once again, you're not doing it for ego. You're doing it because you've put that ripple in the pond. That's just the kind of, and you're just doing the good stuff, and that's just rippling. And the next person, I remember, maybe it was about a year ago. Well, I guess maybe it was a couple of years ago now, because it was way before pre-COVID. But I got an email from someone that had read one of my, well, I've been speaking, doing a lot of this stuff on the, started like 20 years ago. I've been doing this, just on maybe probably even longer than that. But he was at one of my, no, sorry, his mom was at one of my speaking events and gave him this little thing that she had passed on, this little booklet that I had handed out or whatever. And he was using some of these techniques to get it. And it's just like, holy Jesus. Like, first, I can't believe you read it. It was so crap. I mean, it was so old, but, it starts off, you start off putting that stuff out in there, and it just gets better and better and better. And that's the legacy aspect of it, right?
Yeah. So I have a similar example, and that I've been mentoring and coaching naturally just because I love to help people, right? So, we call them proteges or otherwise, but what I love is I still have people till now that still reach out to me. I still remember, when you were my director and you were coaching me on certain things on how to behave and how to be as a leader, as a manager. Says he's now director, actually.
Wow.
And it says, I'm still applying what you taught me, but I put my own personal brand to it. And I said, I love that. Nothing makes me happier, right?